Well, hello, long time no see. Haven't filmed in a while. Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm just lying to you because, the past couple of months, ever since I last posted my video, I started filming like, I don't even know, like 5 different reading vlogs. And every time I start filming, I'm like, okay, I'm filming a reading vlog, and this time I'm actually gonna post it, and I'm actually gonna film my whole week, and then that never happens. And I have like 5 different reading vlogs that I just dropped and never posted. So that's a lie. I've been filming, I just haven't been consistent with my filming, and just, I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I didn't want to make up excuses, but at the same time, I want to like explain myself kinda. And yeah, back in May, I decided to enroll in like a 6-month marketing course, digital marketing course. And yeah, I wanted to do that because I'm in communication. I've never had any experience in marketing or any like classes in marketing. Oh my god, the lighting is bright. I never had any sort of education in marketing, and I wanted to, boost my CV a little bit. And communication and marketing are very connected, so I thought it would be good for me. So I decided to enroll back in May. And it's been hard because it's been after work, so I've been working and studying at the same time. And I feel like I've said this in the million vlogs that I didn't post, but yeah, it was a little bit challenging. It was 3 days a week after work. I would have classes, and then I would also have like works and assignments that I had to deliver. So it's been a lot, but it finally ended this week. It was challenging doing that and working and planning a wedding and hanging out and vacation and everything at the same time. It's just been a lot. But anyway, now it's done. Now I have no excuses not to film videos and post because I've missed this so much. All of this to say, I'm back. I'm still working, obviously, so I don't have like the amount of time that I wish I could have dedicate to this, but it's a little bit better than before, so I'll take it. I didn't want to make just like a normal reading vlog because I'm actually starting a really fun book. This week after I finished my course, I decided to get into the Halloween spirit because it's October. I started watching a couple of horror movies, and I wanted to pick up this book because last year I kind of forgot about it, and I don't want to read this in any other time than during October and during Spooky Month. So I'm gonna be reading, oh my god, it's so bright right now, House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. And I gotta say, I'm scared. I'm scared for my life. But yeah, it's gonna be challenging, especially because like I didn't have a lot of time these past couple of months. I haven't been reading a lot, and I have like 4 other different books that I have to read now, but I'm kind of like putting them kind of on hold for this one because those books can wait. This one not so much because I really wanted to read it during October. You don't know what this book is. I don't know what it is about, but I know what it is, and I know that it's a mixed media kind of book. So there's a lot of like library things and text and images and just a lot of different media, and it's also a spooky book, so that's why I'm reading it this month. And I've read a couple of horror books, not a lot honestly, and I feel like I never really get spooked, but I've heard that this book is very terrifying at points. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be reading probably during the whole rest of the month, because I've been reading at a snail's pace, and also I'm reading, like I said, a lot of other different books at the same time. I don't think I'm gonna completely drop all the books that I'm reading to read this. I think I'm gonna be reading them at the same time, but I'm definitely gonna prioritize this for the vlog, obviously, and because I want to end it this month. But this is a chunky book, even though it's a mixed media book and There's a lot of pages here. I've already flipped through a little bit, but there's pages here that have a lot of text, and then others that don't have a lot of text, and some are just images, so it's just a lot of different things. But yeah, that's it. All of this to say, I'm gonna be reading House of Leaves. I'm gonna take you along for the ride, and yeah, hopefully I'll finish this vlog, because it's embarrassing at this point how many, I would say maybe hours of footage that I have on my laptop right now that have never seen the light of day. But yeah, I guess that's it. I'm happy to be filming again and to have a little bit more time to read and watch movies. Like, my Letterboxd is so empty compared to last year, especially. Last year I watched a lot of movies, and this year I'm not even on like 60 movies that I've watched. And in September, I think, I didn't watch a single movie, like not a single one, which is so sad because I was in the trenches. But anyway, I'm just rambling now. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna start House of Leaves. Maybe now. I was gonna say tonight, but I don't know if I'm brave enough. You know what I hate about fall and winter is that I get home from work and it's already dark out, and it's just very depressing. And I do like the weather of fall and winter, but this particular aspect really just depresses me and annoys me. But yeah, just got home from work and I'm here to update you on my reading of House of Leaves. I started yesterday. Finally understood what the book is about, so I'm gonna try and explain it to you because it's very complicated to explain. But basically, there's this guy called Johnny, I think that's his name. Maybe I should check. Yes, his name is Johnny, and this other guy dies who is called Zampano. I think that's maybe how you pronounce it. So Johnny goes to Zampano's house after he dies, and he finds this manuscript, and this manuscript is not finished, and it is about a documentary that is real in this, I guess, world, in this book. And yeah, so Zampano was writing a book about this documentary, and this documentary is about a family that moves into a house. So this family is man and a woman, I don't know their names, and their two children, a boy and a girl, also don't know their names right now. But yeah, so they move into this house, and then just weird things start to happen. And this is something that I actually got not from reading the book, but from reading the synopsis on the book, because the synopsis is very vague and pretty much doesn't tell you anything. But basically this family realizes that this house that they're living in is actually bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. And so yeah, this is the documentary, and then Zampano is writing a book about it, but then he dies, and so Johnny gets the manuscript from his house and he starts reading it and annotating it. So I'm still on page, well, let me check, 33. So I'm still pretty much in the beginning. I read for an hour and a half, which is a lot for only like 33 pages read. But also there's this introduction to the book and to this whole story that is not like counting for the pages of the book. So I guess I read a little bit more than 33 pages. But yeah, I spent a long ass time reading just this part of the book. Yesterday I was saying that this is a mixed media book, and so it's probably gonna be like easy to get through this big ass book. But yeah, this first part that I read was very text heavy, just like a lot of text, as you can see. And so yeah, it took me a while to get through it. As of now, it's just like the first few chapters of this book that Zampano was writing, and then the annotations from Johnny. As you can see here, like half of this page is the book, and then the other half is just annotations. And yeah, I encountered my first like creepy scene yesterday, and I was reading it at night on this chair, and I was just like, this is making me uncomfortable because it was just a very creepy, weird scene, and I really wasn't expecting so early into the book to get a scene like this, but I'm liking it so far. It's just very dense so far. I'm gonna continue reading it tonight, and I'm excited. Or scared. I don't know. Also, another thing that I'm very intrigued by, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna get an answer to this, but it's that every time the word house appears on page, it's in blue. Like the whole text is in black, but then the word house is always in blue. And I realized that it's also in the cover of the book. So the word house is in blue, just like the rest of the book. And yeah, I'm very intrigued by that. I don't know if you can see it here somewhere. Wait, here. But yeah, very intrigued by that. I don't know if that means anything or if it's just like, I don't know, they decided to do that. But I feel like it means something. That's at this point, it feels very intentional. Like everything feels very intentional. I'm gonna get into my PJs now. I'm gonna have some dinner and read a little bit more of this before I go to bed. Yeah, before the sun goes completely down, I just wanted to do a quick little update on my reading of The House of Leaves. I don't know if I've said this in another clip, but I'm reading other things in between, so it's taken me, you know, a bit longer than if I was just focused on this book. So yeah, I'm currently actually reading 3 books at the same time, including this one, and this one is massive, so it's gonna take me a little while to read this. But I am on page 97, so almost hitting the 100-page mark, and I'm liking it so far. Sometimes it's a little hard to follow sometimes the story because there's so many like footnotes, especially the footnotes from John, I guess our main protagonist in the story, because it's kind of like it's kind of like a conversation. It's not really writing. Well, it is writing, but like he's talking in a very conversational way, and so sometimes it is a bit hard to follow in that aspect. And a lot of times there's no really like punctuation, and it's just like very long sentences, so sometimes it's a bit hard to follow, but I'm liking it so far. Still intrigued about some stuff in terms of like, I don't know how you call it, but like the last time I told you about the house that is always in blue, whenever the word house appears, it's always in blue. And now I'm also noticing that some words appear like underlined, and also some words appear, or some like sentences, like little sentences or words appear in bold. And I don't know, maybe I'm making a big deal out of this, but I'm trying to figure out if that is on purpose, I guess, and if it has any meaning whatsoever, but maybe it doesn't, and I'm just looking way too hard into it. Well, I'm actually not looking that hard into it. I could be like writing down all the words that are underlined and also in bold, but I'm not doing that. The things in bold are mostly like titles, but I don't know why some titles are in bold and others aren't, you know, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. My only criticism is that this book is so heavy, and it's such a struggle to physically read this because it hurts my arms, and even if I put it on my legs, it hurts my legs because it's just so heavy. I should weight this. This is probably like maybe, I don't know, I would say like 2 kilos? I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 kilos. So yeah, pretty heavy to, you know, read this. And so far it's just the chapters of the book and the footnotes. There's no other type of media so far, and I'm really intrigued in getting to those parts where there's more types of media. And like I've seen some pages here in the middle that it's like there's a bunch of different text boxes everywhere, and I'm just intrigued to get to that part because I think that's going to be the most interesting part of this. And yeah, but I'm excited. The house keeps getting bigger on the inside, and they're doing all these types of like explorations to find out where it leads to and where it ends, and if it ends, and it just keeps like all the rooms keep changing all the time, and it's really intriguing. I just know this book is gonna take me a long time to read because I was checking, I think it has almost 700 pages, which I really didn't know. I thought it was a bit, even though it looks like very hefty and very big. I don't know, I thought the pages were like a bit thicker and that's why it was so big, but yeah, no, it's a big book, so it's gonna take me a long time. I'm not rushing it. I really want to take my time with it, so yeah, and especially because I'm reading other things. It's just, yeah, so far I've only read 100 pages, but I think it's good. I started it maybe like 4 or 5 days ago, so not that bad. But yeah, this weekend I had a lot of time to read, which was nice. And yeah, the sun is going down in the dark, so I'm gonna leave you guys, and I'll see you next time with more updates on this book. I don't remember the last time I updated, but I think I was on page like 100 and something the last time I talked about this book, and now I'm on page 490. These past 300 pages have been a ride, honestly. I have been getting through this book a lot faster than I thought I would. I don't know why. I thought it would take me a lot longer. I thought I wouldn't even finish it this month in October, but today I think it's the 25th, so I think I'm probably gonna finish this. Anyway, I don't even know where to begin. This book is definitely very interesting. I do understand the hype surrounding this book because just the way that the story is being told to us, and also the way that sometimes the text is like stylized in, and the design of how the story is being told. I don't know how to explain it, but like, for example, when the character is going up some stairs, the text is also like stylized like that, so going from the bottom to the top, and you have to read it kind of like backwards, I guess. And also if he's in a really small room, like here, you have the text only here in the middle, and I don't know, it's just a really fun and unique experience. This is always when the character's in the house, because you know there's something going on in this house. Still don't really understand what, and I think I will not get an answer, but yeah, whenever the characters are in the house, like exploring the different rooms and the different doors that appear and everything, it just like the text kind of like coincides with what is happening in the story, which I think is very, very interesting. It kind of builds a lot of suspense, and yeah, it's just a really fun way to immerse you in the story, not just with words. And I was trying to find like more examples of this because there's been quite a few since I last updated. And honestly, when I'm reading this, I look crazy because I just keep turning like this way and this way. And like I've said before, this is a book that is talking about a movie, and then there's someone that found this book and is commenting on what is happening in this movie, I guess, and on the book. And that person that is commenting, I really don't like his parts, honestly. I just think they're boring, and something's definitely going on with him as well, where he's like experiencing all these weird things happening in his life, and he's having a lot of like nightmares. And I want his story to be connected in any way to the house and everything else that is happening, but I just don't see the connection as of now. I don't know if we'll understand any of it. I feel like this book will probably have kind of like an open ending, and we're not really gonna be sure of what's happening inside this house and what's happening with this character of Johnny and of Navidson, who is the owner of the house and who is currently still there, like exploring because he's obsessed. And I feel like we're not gonna know a lot of things. It's just really up to interpretation, but I don't know, I still have like almost 200 pages to go, so I'm gonna continue reading and see what's up and see how this book ends. But I just honestly, kudos to the person that wrote this book, because it's very inventive and it's very out of the box, like as out of the box as you can get. And also in terms of like scariness, I don't think I've been scared per se. I've been creeped out at some things, but I don't know. The only thing is that I was reading this last night. I read for like half an hour before going to sleep, and then I had nightmares the whole night and it was terrible. It was nothing related to like the story or the book. I feel like it was some kind of like, it wasn't connected, but also it had some elements of the story. So I don't know if I'm gonna read this tonight, to be quite honest, or I'm gonna read it and then I'm gonna read something else just to get my mind off of it. But yeah, in terms of like being scared while reading, I thought I was really gonna poop my pants, but still haven't. I don't know. But the ending is near, so maybe there will be more like creepy, scary things moving forward. And also I do gotta say that I am liking the book so far, but there have been some chapters that have been a drag. Some chapters really like, I don't know, they're kind of related to the story because this is a book about a movie, about a documentary, and this book is very sometimes technical. I know that it's kind of to give you this illusion that this book actually exists and is real, and yeah, it's not like the whole book is not just like what's happening in the documentary and following this family and all of, in the house and all of that. Sometimes there has to be some chapters where it's talking about like different elements of what is happening in the house, or a little backstory on the characters. And I do understand it, but sometimes it is a little bit of a drag, I do gotta say. But yeah, I think those are all my thoughts so far. Also, I've seen, I was flipping through right now, and I know there are some photos at the end. Will those photos get me creeped out? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. I've only like flipped through, I've never seen the photo so far, because the owner of the house, this Navidson guy, he's a photographer, and so I'm guessing that those photos at the end are the photos he takes inside the house, because there's been a chapter where he was trying to take a picture of this weird thing that is happening inside the house. So yeah, I'm guessing it's something along those lines, but I haven't seen them. I've only seen like color in the pages, so I'm intrigued about that. Definitely gonna finish this until Halloween, until the end of October, because, you know, there are some chapters which are very dense, but then when it's describing the explorations that Navidson is doing inside the house, it's very quick, because like I showed you, there are a lot of pages which are just like 3 words and that's it, and then you just move on. It kind of depends on the chapter, but it's fairly quick, I guess, to get through. But yeah, that's, oh my god, this book is so heavy. That's my experience so far with The House of Leaves. And also yesterday, while I was reading, I came to the part where House of Leaves was mentioned. Didn't reach any conclusion on why House is in blue. I think it was just honestly to emphasize maybe the house. I don't know. I have no idea. I need to, after reading this book, see like a YouTube video like House of Leaves explained, because I'm definitely getting some things, some other things I'm not getting, which is okay. You live and you learn, so maybe I'll have to watch a few videos. So yeah, anyway, I'll see you later, maybe when I finish it, with final thoughts on House of Leaves. Well, hello, we are already in November, and I completely forgot to close out this vlog and tell you my final thoughts about House of Leaves, but I finished this a couple of days ago before Halloween, and yeah, the last maybe like 100 pages since I last updated you were so quick to read because there wasn't a lot of text. And yeah, so my final thoughts are, I did like it, but I really thought I was gonna like it more, just because, I don't know, I was expecting a little bit more from the actual story and the narrative and the connections between kind of like the two timelines, or the three timelines actually, from the house, and then from Zampano, and then from Johnny. I thought they were all going to be somehow connected. I don't know, I feel like maybe they are, but I just didn't get it, so maybe I need to read a little bit more about the book. But I don't know, I was just maybe still expecting a little bit more. But I still enjoyed it because this is such a unique book, and no other book has ever tried to do this kind of thing, at least to my knowledge. I know there's one actually by J.J. Abrams, but I don't know if it's the same thing of like mixed media, and you know, I don't even know if it's a horror book. But anyway, I just feel like this is such a unique book, so inventive, and I give it all the props for that. But in terms of actual story, there were some things that I really don't like, especially like I said the last time, like Johnny's plotline and all of that. I really wasn't interested in that at all. I like, the most interesting part to me was the documentary, and you know, the descriptions of what was happening in the documentary and in the house with Davidson. I thought that those were the most interesting parts, and you know, the last 100 pages kind of have nothing to do with that at all, and it's mostly like Johnny's story and stuff with his mother. I really don't want to go into like full details, but I don't know, I just was not interested in that part of the book at all. So when there were like big parts with like Johnny and what was going on with him and his story, I really was like, I was bored a little bit. Also, I feel like this book has so many layers. Like I was saying, like there are full threads online to dissecting this book, and I feel like there's a lot more meaning than maybe I got and I understood from a first read of this book. But overall, even though there were some things that I wasn't particularly a fan of, I still give this book 4 stars because it was such a ride. This is such a chunky book, and I don't know, it was just trying to do something different, and I really give it props to that. And I think all of these little quirks in terms of like narration style and just the way that the story is told and all of it just makes you feel so special and so real. So yeah, I just really give props to the author of this book because it really immerses you in the story. Just the fact that if the house was shrinking, the text was also shrinking, it really, you know, makes it a lot more real. And I guess that's the beauty of the book. It really makes you think a lot as well. So it's a book that really doesn't undermine its reader and kind of challenges it. So yeah, I thought it was just so interesting because of that. Even though the plot in itself and some things about the story I don't know, wasn't super fan of, I can see the value in this book a lot. And yeah, it was such an experience and such a ride. And I read this, I think it was like around 20 days. That's what it took me to get through this book because it's a chunky book and I obviously wasn't reading it every day. But yeah, just every time I would pick it up, I would read so much of it. And it would really, like I said, immerse me in the story. So yeah, that's my experience with House of Leaves. I don't know, I was kind of like thinking I was gonna love this and this was gonna become like a new staple for me. I'm obviously gonna recommend this book to everyone because I think it's such an experience that everyone needs to experience, I guess. And I'm gonna recommend it to everyone, but it's not a new favorite or anything. But it was definitely interesting. So yeah, that was my experience with House of Leaves. I've been meaning to read this book for ages, and then Pedro got it and he read it, and ever since he got it like 2 or 3 years ago, I've been putting it off just because I knew it was going to take me a long time, and also I wanted to read this around the spooky time, and yes, I did. I finished it before Halloween, so mission accomplished. Yeah, that was my experience reading House of Leaves finally, and it definitely was an experience and a ride. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this vlog, and I will see you on my next one. Bye!